Hello, everybody. It's me, TONIK TZW. And if you watched my little video on how to get a bargain on some of the spectral crates, you would have seen that I dropped this, the Tier 6 American battleship, the Florida. I'm running it with Sims, Cunningham, and Azulian Scharnhorst for reduced dispersion and better grouping. We're here on Neighbours, and let's just say the reason I've called it Bustin' Chops is before this match, there was a lot of banter going on backwards and forwards in the party chat. We got Pikey Monkey in with us as well. And Chops was almost at the point of refusing to come into the division because he knows somebody that plays this ship a lot and they always get absolutely trashed in it. But he had told us to watch out for this ARP Haguro because it's apparently a bit of a fire starter. So the second we got him spotted, we put a full send out there. Chops puts a full send out there. Watch this. I don't get the kill. Chops does. Chops got 1100 damage in the kill, and I got just over 39k and a kill assist. But from that point on, we were absolutely peeing ourselves laughing at how amazing that had all just come together in the first 1 minute and 13 seconds of the game. So if you want to know why people disappear back to port in the first couple of minutes of the game, that is a prime example of it. They sail broadside to two battleships in a light cruiser. Not a very smart thing to do. Now, you know me, I like my destroyers. I really know my stuff about my destroyers. I'm not the greatest destroyer player in the world, not by any measure. But when it comes to battleships and guns and angling and armor piercing values and penetration angles, no, I don't know all of that. For that, you need somebody with a little bit more of a monotonous voice like Zarkoon. Sorry, Zarkoon, but yes, when you just talk like this in a complete monotone about every single ship that there is in the game, and you never change pitch, tone, or cadence of your speech, it does become very monotonous after a while. In fact, I think that the AI sometimes has more charisma than you do in your voiceovers. I probably actually put too much feeling into that. But look, there's a DD trying to sneak up on us. You know me. I'll always take a shot at a destroyer, and that guy is going to learn the hard way and trade the majority of his hit points for getting himself spotted. Now, for those of you that play battleships that don't shoot at destroyers, there's a very good reason why you should. Because every single hit point that you take off a destroyer is going to make him rethink his game. If he knows that he gets spotted and a battleship is going to shoot at him, he is going to think twice about getting close. And if you can take a fair chunk of damage off him, he's really going to think twice. Now, I did put my shots out at the Heinrich out there. I think Chops is going to get the kill, or do I get it? No, didn't see who got that one. It's too small on the screen, but it wasn't me. But never mind. So we know the DD's across here. We've got two battleships out here. We've already gotten rid of the Haguro. That guy that I just lit up with my sight across there was in division with the Haguro. There we go. It's the Dekir. And I imagine that that guy is out for some revenge, but we're not going to let him have it. He is going to have it some of his way, but he's not going to have it all of his way. We're calling the carrier to try and get the destroyer spotted. We also know there's a cruiser out there as well. But I was saying to Chops, I says, okay, I says, if I'm going to try and aim for something in this game, what am I aiming for? And he says, well, I'd be surprised if you get 40k damage. Well, we pretty much hit that with the first salvo, which was absolutely hilarious. Don't know where those shells are going, but not exactly where I wanted them, and I think I should have gotten a bit more out of that one. And then this guy is going to disappear as I get my shells in the air. They do just clear the top of that island. But this was my very first game in the Florida. Quite literally, I'll even stick a screenshot at the end of the game to prove that it was my first game in the Florida. I think I said destroyer earlier. But yeah, it's late at night, and I just thought I'd get some content on because my PlayStation was getting a little bit full, and as you know, I've had quite a lengthy absence, not a lot of time to do any videos, not a lot of energy to do any videos. So I thought, well, we're coming up to the start of a new year. Let's just clear the PlayStation, even though there were some great games in there. Um, and we'll start afresh. We'll take the break over Christmas. I've got Charlie over Christmas, Christmas Eve, Christmas Day. So all you guys that have made donations to the channel over the course of the last year, we've enjoyed some of that money during the summer with day trips out. I do tell you that half of the money goes to Charlie. Charlie does get to spend it on some of his own things, but he's actually quite good with it. But there were some very generous donations when I put my comeback video online, and half of that has gone on to something to go alongside Charlie's main present from Dad this year. So, massive appreciation and thank you to everybody who has supported the channel by taking up memberships, who has given me a super thanks when I've done a live stream, or has made a donation through the channel or through the PayPal link that's in the channel description. For those of you that don't know, YouTube do take a third of anything donated through YouTube, whereas a PayPal donation, we receive the full 100%. Now I'm going to get myself into a bit of a pickle because I'm full health, but I'm in front of two battleships, and I know what the Queen Elizabeth's going to do. The Queen Elizabeth is just going to spam HE, and I think I'm quite lucky in having not lost a hit point to that moment in time that I've got hit points that I can burn away. So, as I said, Chops was busting my chops a little bit about this ship. And, I often play my battleships a little more cautiously, but I'm still thinking of the bigger picture and the tactical game. And he says, I think that Dakir has torpedoes. I'm like, yep, he does have torpedoes. And I'm going to back up. I'm trying to get back into will to rebuild range, which is still valid. Trust me, guys. Of Pikey Monkey behind me, and I'm trying to draw this guy into range of other ships, but they're going to be shooting at other things and not on the main threat here. You'll see me swing around, talk to this guy. I'm just going to ask him for some help. No, he's just fired a salvo in a completely different direction. No idea what he was shooting at, but let's hope he got something out of it. So we're here, we're just bow tanking. I don't even know at this point in the game if I have got the armor on my bow to be tanking, but the Dakir is turning to get his torpedoes off. It's the dumbest thing he ever could have done, because this is only going to end one way for him, and that is with a punch in the guts. And now I'm going to angle again, knowing full well that those torpedoes were on the way. If you know the capabilities of the ship, yeah, you know what's going to happen. And we are going to get a shot on this Queen Elizabeth as soon as we get a reload, because he's just seen his bully boyfriend that he was pushing with disappear. The carrier's going in to drop planes. I'm going to wait for all three turrets to come up before I put them on this guy. There we go. Shots out. And you know something? RNG is going to shaft me that little bit, but the carrier, I think, is going to pick up the kill, and out he goes. So I get another fisting from the carrier for that one, and now we decide that we're going to actually push for the carrier. Pikey is going to do me a solid and keep it 3/4 speed, make sure I build up as much as possible on my will to rebuild while we push. Chops is looking at the minimap and realizing that our destroyer, who's still in the game, is frankly about as much use as breasticles on a fish, as much use as a chocolate teapot or a chocolate fire guard. The kind of person who, if he fell into a bucket of tits, would come out sucking his thumb. I thought he'd been doing a good job across there, stopping Red Team from pushing down. But wait till you see the results screen. But Chubbs was watching him and saying that no, he keeps trying to torpedo things from the front. and he's hitting absolutely nothing. So perhaps somebody that's new to Destroyer Play and needs to go down to my playlists on the channel called Do You DD and watch some of those and learn a few tips and tricks on playing destroyers. I do watch other people's videos too, on how to play different ships. If I certainly don't know how to play this one, we just thought we'll throw it into the game, full division, see how we do. We did lose Chops because he thought we were a little bit closer behind him when he was pushing those two battleships. But I said we'd had to turn away because we weren't sure if that destroyer was pushing us on a flank. We didn't want to get caught up broadside with a load of torpedoes. But yeah, that destroyer did change his mind and head off in another direction, and somebody eventually killed him. So, because this battleship on our left is having a little bit of problem and he's getting a little bit focused, we decide to split. It is good to play a solid division and stick with each other and focus targets down, because 3 salvos on one target is better than 3 salvos onto 3 separate targets. But we do need to split, because if these guys get rid of that battleship there, which they are going to do, it means that they've got a clear run to our capture point, and that's not what we want them to have. Now, if you remember earlier, Chops was busting my chops and saying that I'd be lucky to get 40k. We've already doubled that, and yeah, we're going to add a little bit more to the tally. It's not going to be a massive game. It's not a cracking game, but I just thought it was a really fun one to save because it was the first one in this ship. I'm going to have to go and look at some stats on this ship. I'm probably going to have a look at a couple of other people's profiles and see how they build it and play it. Um, but I do know that it was buffed a short while ago, because apparently it was a full-on Captain Underpants, this ship, and a buff was needed, and a buff it got. And I have to say that I was actually not massively super impressed with how it all played out. I did feel a little bit vulnerable at times as we get another fisting from RNG. I can't remember who picked that one up either. It might have been Pikey who got the kill on that one. But the carrier is running. It is 3 versus 1. And the one thing that I did notice about this ship's stats, it has pretty solid AA. Even though I think I've only shut down a handful of planes there. But I'm guessing the carrier commander knew that this thing had good AA and probably stayed away from me to save his planes. But there he is, the Ranger at range. Let's see what we can do. We'll pop some shots over. We'll see what RNG can do for us. Was that our shots? Yeah, I think it was. We got a tickle, and I'm thinking if I can break 100k like that, I'll be happy, because that's well, almost double the hit points that I've got. And if you're playing a ship, the least amount of damage you should be doing is the same number of hit points that you've got on your ship. Pikey is wailing into this guy. I'm going all 3 turrets on the reload. It looks like the guy has given up the ghost. He's given up the game, because those are going to drop through his citadel, give me the kill. I'm going to pick up, I don't know if it's a fireproof or dreadnought there. Probably the fireproof, because of that, all those fires I had earlier. But 115,500 damage. We get some kills out of it. We get some kill assists. And we actually finish top of the board with a respectable amount of base XP as well. I wasn't expecting to be there, but for a first game, not a bad effort. Nothing magical. Let me know in the comments what your build is for the Florida, and also tell me what your damage and XP records are for it as well. Because with a new ship, I always like to play and improve. I hope you've enjoyed this one. Don't forget, smash that like button, subscribe if you haven't done so already. You can donate through Super Thanks and through PayPal from the channel description. It's getting to Christmas. I'm not going to wish you all a happy Christmas just yet. We'll do that in a couple of days' time. But until next time, take care of yourselves and goodbye.